Hi guys. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over what back surgery is really like. I know this is a little off of what I normally post about, at least on my TikTok, but I have to get my story out. I need to talk to somebody about this, and you guys are my family, so we're going to talk about it. So basically I had a slipped vertebrae and a pars defect, which for me it was a break straight through the vertebrae. It was grade 1, which doesn't sound bad, but even grade 1 can cause a lot of pain, and in my case it did. I had a very hard time walking. I had to cut back my hours at work. Just going out with my boyfriend, it was just very, very difficult for me. And so my surgeon and I decided that surgery was my best move. And were we ever right? Oh my goodness. It was the best decision I could have ever made. It truly was. So I have a anterior posterior lumbar fusion. So they went in right under my belly button, and then there's 2 vertical incisions on my back, and I have, I believe it's 4 screws, a few like small rods maybe, and there's like a little cage in between my L5-S1 vertebrae, just to give it the space so I don't have the nerve issues anymore, because when my vertebrae was slipping, it would start pressing on my nerves, and I was losing use of my foot, which is not good. But I remember right before my surgery, I was wanting to figure out what it was like, and I couldn't really find any videos that really explained to me what it was like. So I am here for you. We're gonna go through this, the nitty-gritty, all that we gotta talk about. So first of all, in my case, I had a more simple surgery, a little less invasive, so my experience can differ from everybody else. So I'm just sharing what my experience with back surgery was like. This is not meant as medical advice. This is truly just me sharing my experience, hoping that maybe somebody will feel a little comforted knowing what to expect going into their back surgery. So I was in the hospital, I believe, for 2 nights and 3 days. I remember going into surgery, everybody was super, super nice. I met the surgical team. I had a couple of nurses come and verify all of my information, kind of the basic routine things you would expect. Had a few blood tests done, some lab work, and marking. That was very important. My surgeon came in and marked where he was going to work. And that was something I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but he just came and wrote his initials near like the problem areas to make sure that they worked on the right areas. They wheeled me off. I was in surgery for about, I believe it was 3 hours. Oh wait, no. I was in surgery for, I believe, an hour or so, but I was asleep for 3 hours. It took me about 3 hours to come out of anesthesia, which is a little bit of a long time, at least for me. I normally don't take that long. But the surgery itself went great. I did wake up in a lot of pain. Apparently, an hour before I came to and was aware of my surroundings, apparently I had been asking for pain medicine, but I was too out of it for them to give it to me. But once I kind of came to, I was more aware of everything. They brought me up to my room, and they went ahead and gave me some pain medicine and some muscle relaxers to kind of help with the pain. But I will not lie, I was in a lot of pain, worse than I was before the surgery. I was not expecting that, but at the same time, when you have screws go into bone, one should assume that that would be a little painful. But I spent the time in the hospital working on like small physical therapy, mostly just walking. I had a very hard time walking. Initially, I had lost sensation of more of my right leg than I had had going into surgery, but also just the pain from pushing up on the walker and trying to get from a flat laying position to a seated position to standing up was extremely painful. I will not lie. It hurt so bad. I was in tears. I could barely move. And the pain medicine, I don't know what I would have done without it, because if it was that bad with the pain medicine, I cannot imagine what it was like without it. Fortunately, the entire staff was amazing. I felt very cared for, and they were all very supportive and encouraging, which definitely helps. It helps to have some good people on your side that'll back you up and support you. You definitely need it. I am now about 4 or 5 weeks post-op. Unfortunately, I do have to have a washout surgery because one of my incisions got infected. And that's the unfortunate reality of the situation, is that no matter how much you follow those post-op instructions, how careful you are, change your bandage every day and try and keep the area clean, sometimes this stuff just happens. And I won't lie, I'm very upset, but I'm also very grateful that my surgeon is doing a washout instead of playing a wait and see game, because I could get very sick if this isn't taken care of. As far as recovery, I was walking 3 miles 2 weeks out. So you're not physically out for too long. The first few days I was tired. The first few days I was very physically and mentally tired. And then eventually I started getting up, moving, being able to pick stuff up, like as far as reaching is still very hard for me, but I do start physical therapy in a few weeks, so that is very exciting. It is so important that you make sure you walk and that you're getting up and moving. Ideally at least once a day. You don't want to just sit in bed. One, that can increase your risk of blood clots in your legs just from the idle sitting. They gave me a lot of heparin in the hospital, which, by the way, those shots hurt like there is no tomorrow. I probably would have taken the pain from back surgery a million times over, but that's just me. Some people might prefer the heparin shot, but you want to make sure you're getting up and moving around, getting the blood flowing, and really making sure you're strengthening your muscles so that way you can heal. You won't be able to bend. You don't want to be lifting, and honestly, it's kind of hard to even lift stuff if you wanted to. Your body's pretty good about naturally keeping you from doing the stuff that hurts, but I did have a scare. I tripped going up the stairs and it hurt so bad. So you do have to be very careful because your body is very fragile while you're still healing. I mean, I'm about a month out, and even just the other day, I tripped up a curb. I trip over everything, but I tripped going up a curb and it really hurt. And I'm already a month or so out. So you have to be very careful, but as long as you are taking care of yourself and putting your recovery and healing as your first priority, you will do amazing. I know you will do amazing. You've got this. It will be okay. I am so grateful that I was able to have the surgery and had the opportunity to. It has genuinely changed my life for the better. I am almost completely pain-free when I used to not be able to even stand for an hour because I'd be in so much pain. I'd be in tears at work or at school. I had to withdraw from all my classes at school because I was in so much pain all the time that I couldn't sit during a whole class. And now I'm going back to work. I start school again in the fall. So if you needed a sign, that you're making the right choice by putting your health first and advocating for yourself, this is your sign. You've got this. I believe in you. You are going to do amazing. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. And if there's enough questions, I might make a second video kind of going more into detail about those. But I hope this brought some peace of mind. I hope this brought you peace of mind. And just know that I am supporting you through this entire journey. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you would like to see more on back surgery or some of my other self-love or mental health content, please click that subscribe button down below. Every little bit of engagement helps me so much. Also, feel free to follow me on TikTok, where our family is growing every day, and I am so grateful for all of you. You all are amazing. Link to my TikTok will be down in the description. And thank y'all so much. I love you all. I could not do this without you. You all are my reason why.